Whether you are a Christian or a Muslim or a nationalist, we all have the same problem. They don't hang you because you're a Baptist, they hang you because you're black. They don't attack me because I'm a Muslim, they attack me because I'm black. They attack all of us for the same reason. All of us catch hell from the same enemy.
Meeting with Clarence Hendricks, and Clarence was not a high-talking, rhetorical kind of person. And Clarence was a very mild-mannered kind of individual, of very good intelligence. But as he said, the Black Panther Party not only spoke about the problems that black people were having and the causes of the problem, they were developing, and this is what really got my attention, they were developing community programs. They were actually putting together programs, free lunch programs, free medical clinics, home repair, transportation, and first and foremost, they were protecting the black community, which is exactly the main reason why they formed on the West Coast, was the brutality and racism that was occurring in the black community. So they took it upon themselves to take care of problems, and it was the programs that they put into action. They just were not speaking a lot of empty words and discussions and debates. They actually had community organized programs which they provided support for their own people.
Who are they to judge us? Mother, mother, simply call us sweet where I hello.
We went around and they told us how they were able to get the resources together, and it was again, it was amazing the people who were, the generosity that came from people who I would never imagine would have want anything to do with a movement such as the Black Panther Party. A lot of people weren't so much interested in the Black Panther Party, but they were interested in seeing the results that were happening, the care that was being given, the needs that were being met. They were not interested in the political aspects of what they were doing. In fact, there was some dissension and some problems about, we named the free medical clinic the Fred Hampton Free Medical Clinic, and had a portrait of Fred Hampton, and there were some board members, and again, who were not feeling real good about that. They thought that would bring too much negative pressure on the clinic, and it would be seen in a negative light, by the rest of the community. A little bit exciting. After New Haven, Connecticut, in May of 1970, I spent 2 months in New Haven, helping out in the community, and they remained most of the time in their own community. They were not the kind that, and they actually did not believe in going out and being part of large demonstrations. They felt that this left the black community unprotected. What happened one time was I let one individual use my car. Somebody had left a knife in the car. The police, who were stopping anybody in the black community at all times, pulled the car over, impounded the car, arrested 2 individuals in the car. At that time, they thought I was part of the setup. And that evening, I was in the projects, went up to the room, and I opened the door up, and there was about 6 guys in there with guns all trained on me. So this was one experience that I had. But everything settled down. They could see that I was not one who was trying to undermine or had a part in playing in that role. However, I think the background, the experience that I find that my father gave me was that he was the kind of doctor who would not just see certain patients. He would see patients who were, if they were bedfast, if they were poor, couldn't pay, he would go to their house and make house calls. And as a young boy, I remember going with him to a number of homes in the evening, late in the evenings, when he got a call from a patient. And some of these places didn't even have electricity. And I can remember one place in particular where he had to give shots and administer to a woman, a very elderly woman who was very poor and had no electricity, and I was holding a flashlight just to help him be able to do this. I think this experience, as far as my family, And my mother also taught school. She taught school at one of the poorest areas of the city that we lived. And she would go there every day and teach at the black school, black elementary school.
We need to do more acting than we need to do writing. And I think the Black Panther Party is doing that. That we didn't talk about a bunch of the children program, we've got more.
As I said, I first met the Panthers in 1969, did work with them in New Haven in 1970, was called up for the draft, and due to a physical injury, I was exempt from the draft, and that allowed me to work up in northern Illinois with the Black Panther Party out of West Chicago. At that time, my interest was trying to get some community organization in the town in which I lived in northern Illinois. This was Freeport, Illinois. And so this was in 1970, 1971. I went into the Western Panther Party in Western Chicago and got ideas as far as how they developed their free medical clinic. My father was in the town Freeport, and he was willing to volunteer his services at a clinic if we could get a clinic set up. So I was pretty much administering and organizing through information from the Panthers during that time, and they would come out to the clinic and help us set up. And we got some of the community leaders from the black community who were interested, and so they formed a committee, formed a board of directors, and the clinic got off the ground. And we actually had 2 doctors who volunteered their time to treat patients, any patients. It didn't matter what color they were. It was any patients without any kind of screening, as far as financial screening. Anybody who came through the doors was willingly treated. I saw the Black Panther movement as a organization who would basically, they walk the walk. They did not talk the talk. They explained very clearly, without debate, unequivocally, exactly where they stood, where the problems were. They were not willing to debate or back down from that, number one. Secondly, it was, as I had said earlier, it was the fact that they took care of the community. They took care of the people. I went out and I saw this myself. This impressed me more as much as anything. This was not a lot of rhetoric that was going on. These were individuals who truly cared about what was going on in their own communities. How they came up with the resources to do the free lunches, the free medical clinics, the home improvements. They organized, they set up cadres, they set up groups. You know, they put the interests of the community towards one another, towards, you know, what was the next best thing that they could do for the people. They were very critical, very judgmental of anyone in the community who was interested in other things. They were very serious about what they were doing. This was not some kind of a game. This was not bravado. This was a very serious movement that they were involved in, because they were talking about the lives of their own people.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, na, na, na. Oh, na, na, na. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, na, na, na. Da, da, da. Oh, brother, brother, brother. Yeah, brother, brother. I know you've been laying back a long time.
I'm gonna touch on this a little bit, and what I'm about to say is, I don't want to think, nobody think I'm a separatist, because I'm not. But you know, and I brought this up with the sister here about segregation and integration as far as the schools, and I think we should go back to segregated schools for one reason only, so we can capture our community. You know, we need to get that back together. And then we can do whatever. But right now, we need to teach our own and preach to our own and look out for our own. And I'm not saying be totally separated. I'm just saying that the school system should give us more control over our black community. And I think we'll be better off.